Happy Sunday, everybody. It has been about 2 weeks since I've recorded, and I am really happy to be back. So if you're watching, thank you. If you're watching later, thank you as well. And I hope that you enjoy this. It's not the most lighthearted, but I mean, what has been in the last decade of American politics. However, the holidays have come early. And the holidays have come early because this week was an advent calendar of fuck you, America, from our moral, ethical, America First president. So let's jump into it. How was this week an advent calendar of FU? So I don't get banned or whatever happens when you curse in very, very understandable circumstances. Because we curse so we don't cry. But the reason I say it was an advent calendar is because you know those little advent calendars that you got as a kid, little chocolates or like a toy or something. Well, this week it was an advent calendar of how bought and paid for our government is, our president is. And the fact of the matter is that we can no longer deny that we are the biggest prostitute in the world. The United States of America, our corporations, our government, honestly, sadly, our citizens, because we keep buying all the bullshit that they're selling us. Bunch of prostitutes. And some countries seem to understand that. So that's where we are. And if that bothers anybody, I don't know what that tells us about ourselves, but we are literally a prostitute. Everything is for sale. Everything is for sale, including American children, apparently, because they are protecting the Epstein pedophiles. Yay, America. So, what was the first amazing gift that we got this week? So, let's say day one, right? Which will be Monday. All right. So, I'm not a good singer, although I'd really love to do it. But on the first day of Christmas, my government gave to me banning hemp. Banning hemp. This is why I don't sing. Banning hemp in America. So in that amazing reopening of the government, somehow Mitch McConnell, Mr. Turkey of America, slid in a provision to start shutting down the hemp industry. Now, the hemp industry in America, unfortunately, gets demonized because of THC being classified equivalent to cocaine and heroin. However, hemp itself has a lot of uses. Now, because of this hemp, the loosening of these laws on hemp, farmers have a lot more organic, reusable material that they're able to create with. And CBD and the pain management, kind of non-opiate derived pain management, has kind of had a boom because of it. But along with that boom, unfortunately, we've also had a lot of bad actors, right? So, of course, synthetic oils and things like that, we love our fake everything. We love to make things that are natural and bastardize them by creating a synthetic version. Well, we've done that. You also have a loophole where you can sell like THCA when burned. It's the same as marijuana. And the worst thing that happens here is that people are a little bit more calm and have a little bit more munchies and less pain. But I can only imagine the impact that had on big pharma. I can only imagine the impact that CBD has had on the tobacco industry. So it's no surprise to me that they somehow got Mitch McConnell, who I don't know how he's still alive. I don't understand. I mean, I've seen this man fall more than I saw Biden, more than I've seen rain fall in the state of Florida on a random summer day. And he's still getting things done. This is to show you how bad we are. I mean, this man is literally dead in office. So on Monday, maybe not a big deal here, but as you think about a time in the United States where farmers are already struggling, farmers are begging our president not to bring in beef from other countries any more than they already are doing because they're already struggling. And yet we go ahead, open the country back up after 43 days of a shutdown. And in there, these sneaky little snakes go ahead and put in a hemp ban. Okay. So again, this may not be a big deal to a lot of people, and that's perfectly fine. To me, that's a big deal. That's not America first. When we are continuing to put other interests or other corporations ahead of the people, the peasants, the people that allow this machine to continue moving in every direction, but in ours. Disgusting. So that's Monday. Now, Tuesday, I thought I was being like punked. I thought that like Ashton Kutcher was outside of my house, you know, ready to just punk me, because there's no way in hell that our president would even consider something so diabolical. President Trump and Mr. Pulte, Bill Pulte to be exact, have proposed on Tuesday morning a 50-year mortgage. Now, a 50-year mortgage would have you paying for your house 3 times before you own it. 3 times before you own it. A 30-year mortgage has you pay for your house twice. A 15-year mortgage, you pay like 20 or 30% more. Don't quote me. I have a 30-year mortgage. I'm in this. I'm going to buy this house twice unless I get a lot of money, but I'm a regular ass person and I probably won't. So we will be paying for this. And we went with the 30 years so we could stretch our money out so we could have a lower payment. And we bought before the rise in interest rates. And we really got into a good place so we wouldn't be doing anything, right? Okay. A 50-year mortgage, the average American now, because nothing is getting fixed, the average American is buying a house at 40. That means that you would be buying your house at 40. You will buy it at least 2 times, maybe before you die at the estimated age of 72, 74. Let's be generous and let's go with 76. At this point, you've bought your house twice. You still don't own it. You die, your kids inherit it. Your kids now pay taxes on the inheritance, and they now get to decide if they're going to keep the mortgage to where they now get to buy that house again, even though you've bought it twice. And see, this is very similar to the you're going to own nothing and be happy about it. No. They took it up one more step of you're really stupid. They took it up an extra notch of you dumbasses in America, you stupid people. The education system in America has worked because you all are so dumb that you are going to think this is a blessing, that this is something good. You are going to pay for something for the rest of your life and never own it, even though you walk around with the delusion of home ownership. If you are still paying your mortgage, you don't own your house. I'm grabbing the desk because I want to be more calm, but it's hard to be. Again, it's not that you will own nothing and be happy about it. It's that you will pay for something your entire life and die without actually ever getting to enjoy full ownership of something. And let's say that you're really lucky and you pay this 50-year mortgage off, you're still paying property taxes. And you're going to be paying those every year because it doesn't matter that you own that house. The government will get their blood from you no matter what. And they are getting very creative at finding ways to get more blood out of us and make more money for their friends and give us absolutely less and less and less. And we are all fighting amongst each other. So that was Monday. That was Tuesday. I also want to quickly call out, okay, this gentleman, Donald Trump, loves to surround himself with shitty people. He loves to surround himself with people whose moral compass is beyond questionable. Okay? Bill Pulte. Bill Pulte is now the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency and the chairman of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Bill Pulte's family are the founders of Pulte Group, a mediocre, subpar residential home construction company. They are embroiled in multiple lawsuits, not only for building pretty much crap, but also for discriminating against brown people because, who doesn't love to hate us? Who doesn't love to just, I'm joking, but you know what I mean? You build crappy houses and you treat people like crap, regardless of skin color. Let's be honest. Okay, cool. So that sounds like Donald Trump. That sounds like the people that he would like around him. But more importantly, you just gave a man whose family owns one of the biggest residential home building companies, and you put him in charge of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and you thought that he would do something to benefit the consumer and not the business? Am I crazy? Like, am I crazy? So then this guy is like, "Oh, I have a great idea for you, President Donald Rump. Coño, Rump. Let's go ahead and make so much more money for us. Let's go ahead and make 3 times what this crap house is worth. They're probably worth less than what you valued it at, but since you pump up all the housing prices in the area, we won't know. But let's go ahead and do that. You know what, man? Yeah, Mr. President, we're going to make so much money off of these peasants, these stupid peasants that keep voting for things that hurt them, that keep voting for people like you who hate them, who think that we're all stupid." That was Tuesday. Bill Pulte. He's in charge of our financing for buying a home. Pulte Homes, it only benefits them. It only benefits them. And you know what's fun also is the people, the experts, the banking experts that, God, they have such a hard on for this because this is the sexiest thing that's ever happened. God, what could be sexier than making consumers buy the same thing 3 times but only have one object? God, oh, just really just gets me going, just gets my blood going, gets me motivated to go to the gym in the morning. What's better than a pre-workout? What's a better pre-workout than screwing over the peasants of your country that you rely on to keep your businesses afloat? Again, advent calendar of I hate you, America. So, Wednesday. Oh. And then, sorry, apologies. Let me go ahead and put my screen back up. I got carried away and didn't realize that I dropped it. So on Wednesday, we had Donald, I'm going to call him Donald Rump because he apparently is a lambeculo. And a lambeculo, if you don't speak Spanish, I'll edit this afterwards and I'm going to start putting the definitions of the Spanish words that I use. Un lambeculo is somebody who is an ass licker, a brown noser, a boot licker, somebody who has absolutely zero dignity and self-respect that they would lower themselves to this level. Because Donald Trump has no respect, no self-respect. He doesn't respect Americans. That is so evident. But you don't respect yourself. Okay. Bibi Netanyahu has been in power for over 30 years. He had a brief break and they tried to convict him of multiple crimes, mainly bribery, fraud, breach of trust, and now we have alleged war crimes. And they're not alleged, they're proven, they're factual, but Israel and the United States like to act as though this is justified and it's not demonic or evil to kill 100,000 women and children and say that they're all terrorists, and say every single man in Israel in Palestine is a terrorist. So I'll go ahead and say that, right? Just for the sake of being honest, right? According to be honest. Okay. So if every single man is a terrorist, then all right, so you're justified in killing them because 1,300 people died on October 7th, right? But we're now in over 250,000 people, right? That we know of. Okay, so one body equals like 15 Palestinians. That's weird. We're all equal under God. One body equals one body. So it's really funny to me how we justify it. But let's just go to the route of women and children, 100,000, right? Still really kind of crazy. Still really kind of crazy. Okay, so yeah, war crimes. ICC has filed war crimes. The UN Security Council has also identified war crimes, and you have multiple countries now that have put out arrest warrants for Netanyahu. And honestly, I hope they grab his ass for the sake of everybody in Palestine and for the sake of the Israelis, who every moment that that man remains in power, they lose more favorability in the global standing. And unfortunately, I don't think that ever goes well. You are a very small country and you have a government that is absolutely destroying any goodwill the world has towards you. I would get him out of office very fast. But no. Donald Rump. Donald Rump, the lambe culo of America. You go ahead and write a letter to the president of Israel, pretty much begging him to release or to pardon Bibi. Okay. I know that you like to pardon criminals in the United States. And I know that you yourself are a criminal. Even if I was to say that every charge brought against you by the Democrats under Biden was a joke, the things that you have done since you've come in office, grifting your own crypto coin, releasing the founder of Binance, the guy that made you guys hundreds of millions of dollars, your association with Witkoff and Kushner in Gaza, talking about building luxury real estate resorts, murdering people so that the United States can support colonialism again. I can't wait for the Dems to sweep you. And I cannot wait for you to get destroyed in the midterms because I really want them to impeach you. I really do. Because you have betrayed the United States. You have embarrassed us. This sycophantic lambeculo letter that you wrote to defend another criminal, a demon in the flesh. Shame on you. Shame on you, Mr. President. That was Wednesday, y'all. So again, we're like midweek technically. They call it hump day. I don't know if that's where I would say at this point because it's ridiculous. But if that wasn't crazy enough at the time, okay? If that wasn't crazy enough at the time, do you know what was? Donald Trump went on an interview with Laura Ingraham. And I'm going to go ahead and put the full screen up on this because it is, I don't know. I honestly don't even know. No, I'm going to put myself in the corner because I need to have my face up because this man is crazy. Many of you may have seen this already. I do think it's a little bit wild that this is our president. This is how he talks about America. But there's also another reason for it. It's not just because he genuinely thinks we don't have talent. It comes to be that because we are a prostitute of a country, whoever pays the most money tends to get what they want. And unfortunately for all of us peasants, we're poor, we're broke, we're in debt. We bought the lies. So sucks to be us and peasants. Ugh, trashy peasants. All right.
Flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
I will say this. I don't know if it makes me look better or anything, but I'm not I don't watch CNN anymore, and I don't watch Fox News, and I don't. I told my dad the other day, you got to get off Newsmax, which is that's not his only news source, right? And he was kind of quick to tell me, listen, you like a format, you like news formats, and sometimes that's just how it plays out, right? But even he's kind of talking about how he's been looking at all these different sources. I introduced my parents to Ground News. I think Ground News is phenomenal. I love it. I mean, I wake up to read. I go to bed just checking things. It's not connected here, so I don't pull them up a lot. I also don't want my personal information out there yet. But I will pause and say, if you are still watching, please like and subscribe, please take a moment, like, subscribe, comment, argue with me. Tell me that you hate what I'm saying. Tell me that you think MAGA is here to stay, and that everybody else that's speaking common sense is crazy right now, and that we just can't see it. Maybe you're right. But definitely please like and subscribe. I love doing this. This is so much fun. And it's fun to just connect with people, even if it's frustrating what's going on in the world. At least I'm not laying down and just taking it silently. I think the days of that are over. So definitely like and subscribe. Real talk, as always. All right, now. So Americans have no talent. Americans have no talent. This is a crazy one to me because we know that this is not the case. We know this is not the case. Microsoft, America. Meta, America. Airbnb, America. Believe Palantir, America. When you start going down these big lists, even Oracle, America, yeah. These companies are American tech companies. American tech is bigger than everywhere else. Companies that want to sell technology anywhere have to be in the US market, because I guarantee you, any tech company that you go to, the majority of their revenue is coming from US-based companies. The idea that we need to actually import talent is laughable. I'm sorry. The idea that we don't have talent in this country is insulting. It's insulting. And you're pretty much confirming that you are in pockets of big tech. And the reason I know that you're in the pockets of big tech is because that little White House ballroom that not one American has ever asked for, ever in the history of the United States, that is bought and paid by big tech. By big tech, and obviously Zionists. But we know that Trump loves Zionists. We know that Trump is a Zionist. Trump should just completely, I wouldn't be shocked if he's a dual citizen at this point. But if you want to go and say the industry that we thought Republicans would regulate on, that Republicans would not allow AI, which is questionable, what the ultimate end game is from the AI creators, not the people using it, not the regular people that are using an AI chatbot for efficiency. No, people that want to create these sentient AI robots. So going into this here, biggest donors, Meta, Apple, Amazon. And we all saw them at the inauguration sitting with our president. And it was like, okay, this is kind of interesting, considering they all hated him and they all went out of their way to push their algorithm and do whatever possible. And you can talk to people that work for some of these companies that will tell you that they are censored or let go because they are conservative. Those same companies now realize that, of course, we're going to align ourselves with Donald Trump. He will sell this entire country to us for cheap if we build him something shiny with gold walls, because he's so estúpido, coño, estúpido. So I'm not going to keep going down this list. Let's just say that Lockheed Martin, Microsoft, Comcast. Honestly, the ones that make me smile are the monopolies in here. So then we got monopolies, which is unconstitutional, but our sad sack government will do nothing about it, right? Okay, cool. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at on why Trump is saying Americans have no talent. I really want that to be clear, okay? It is not because he genuinely believes we don't have talent. It's because these guys right here have convinced him that there is no talent. And let me break down quickly what the big real issue I have with the expansion of H-1B, okay? It's not the existence of H-1B. I do believe that there is a need for talent from other countries. I do believe that you need to be able to have a way of bringing people in. We are an immigrant nation. What has kept us competitive, what has really kept us competitive, is being an immigrant nation. So that needs to continue, obviously. But when you have had over half a million, sorry, when you've had over 500,000 layoffs in big tech in the last 2 years, and you're not talking about entry-level software developers. No, you're talking about people with 10, 12, 15. I've seen 20-year veterans get let go from Microsoft. People that built and developed entire AI programs. People that are extremely well-versed in technology. They are extremely talented. But do you know what those people command? Probably about $500,000 to $600,000 a year, plus benefits, plus vacation, plus a little American sense of entitlement to not treating us like absolute dirt. Do you know what happens when you bring H-1B recipients to the United States, especially from cultures that are extremely, I would say, obedient to, I would say, leaders or people that they consider to be above them? You get a new form of indentured servitude. You got people that have family back home. They're not putting roots in here. Maybe they have something to go back to. They're sending their money home. They're spending their weekends either saving money or working for you. They're working overtime for you. They're not demanding things because they're not American. They don't have this grandiose sense of self. They don't have this sense of, what are you doing for me? They're going to do everything for you because they are so grateful that you are giving them that $180,000 a year. That $180,000 a year that you're denying to an American who has the experience. Now, he talks about, we don't have the talent. We're going to be building bombs, and we're going to, because, that's manufacturing requires heavy levels of expertise. Now, we used to have this amazing thing in the US called migrant worker programs. And yeah, the H-1B to be able to come for like a work visa for a work event. But imagine the craziness of giving somebody a 3-month or 6-month visa to come work somewhere and then go back home, right? Migrants visa, migrants come and go. Immigrants change and relocate for good. What happened to bringing in, let's say BMW, right? BMW has massive factories in the United States. So let's say BMW builds a factory, hires 50,000 Americans. Do you know what they do to train those Americans? They don't beg our country to let in 50,000 Germans. No, what they do is they send over probably 1,000 Germans from their home plant, and they train and they up-level American citizens, and then they go the F home. That is how we've always done it. But see, they're trying to spin it now to justify indentured servitude, because Americans are done. The baby boomers allowed a lot of stuff. Then the generation above me started fighting back. Millennials are done. Millennials are like, no, negative. Then the generation under me is Sydney Sweeney's whole face. Just, I'm done with this conversation. I'm done with the air that we are all breathing together. They need a workforce that is bendable. They need a workforce that is manipulatable. If that's not a word, at me. The US, we are literally breeding that out of ourselves. We are breeding it out. If anything, we're becoming a rebellious country. Now, just to kind of hammer my point in here, I want to remind everybody why Vivek Ramaswamy kind of lost such footing. And at the time that he released this tweet, I actually really did agree with him. And there's a certain part of me that still agrees. I do think we're a little bit entitled in the United States. I think we, like I say at every episode, willfully ignorant. We allow ourselves to be lied to, even though like our conscience has to tell us that it's not right. But Vivek Ramaswamy really wanted to come in and pretty much say that, enjoying ourselves, not working, 60, 80-hour weeks, not working on the weekends, watching Friends is a waste of time. We should watch movies like Whiplash, that was the movie about the drummer. That movie literally gave me a headache. I was so stressed out the whole time. So if my life is to walk around stressed out all the time, well, I'm sorry, that's not a life that I want to live. So I don't know why he had to call out Boy Meets World. I think Boy Meets World was a phenomenal show. Obviously not after, where they talk about all the bad stuff, but growing up, those things were wholesome. Those made us want to be decent people. Apparently, we cannot be normal, right? That's not good. Our technology is ahead. Our developers, our software teams are ahead. We definitely need foreign immigrants. We definitely need foreign experts and people that are super specialized in AI, in every single technology, to come into the United States. I'm gonna say that maybe not on the Einstein grant, because I still will never understand why Melania Trump got that as a model. I would think that as a model, she would have come over here on an H-1B. But I still find it curious. But again, Trump is one of the perfect examples of people who like immigrants, but like certain types of immigrants. There's like we're not like those kinds of immigrants. We're like the good kinds of immigrants. Coño. Because we're not a real country anymore. We're not a real group. We're not a serious nation. There we go. That's the better one to say it. So we advocate for foreign workers because apparently America has no talent. What they don't want to say is that it's because big tech, big companies, big corporations really do enjoy having people that are indebted to them, so that they don't demand so much, so that companies can continue to do the bare minimum for their employees. So that's it, right? And it's really sad to see anybody agreeing with this or pushing for this, because if your goal is to come into the United States to help us build up our manufacturing, it should be a temporary assignment. It should not be something permanent. And I actually really understand that. Like Hyundai recently had this mass deportation from ICE, because our ICE right now is operating like goons. They seem to have hired the absolute worst people, because the way that the ICE is behaving, where we were told that they had lists, they knew where everybody was, and they were going to go after all the hardened criminals. But according to them, everybody's a criminal if you've come in illegally, and one could argue that that's true. But the level of violence and the rhetoric that is coming from our government, from our Department of Homeland Security. So you deported a bunch of people from the Hyundai lab in Georgia, and now countries don't want to send people over here to help train, but you're going to build manufacturing? Okay. So Americans have no talent. They bought us a ballroom that nobody asked for. And this is my final one. I'm sorry, because it is funny, and I'm sorry. I know that I don't help when I say this, but the other part of that interview with Ingram was also hilarious.
Are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States. We have about 350,000 Chinese. One point during COVID, you were going to, push to, get them out, but that was pulled back.
Also, let's be very clear right now. One of the reasons I could not vote for Donald Trump in the last election, January 6th was disgusting. It was embarrassing. Republicans trying to defend it. Even if the FBI held your hand and walked you into the building, you knew what you were doing was wrong. But second to that, this man has an inability to call out the Democrat and Republican parties and the corporations and the lawmakers and the court system. He has a true inability to hold anybody in the United States accountable. What he does is scapegoat in ways that you can just Google it. Our allies took advantage of us. You and the sad sack government that we've had since probably JFK have allowed globalization to spread. You have allowed American jobs to go overseas. You have allowed, I mean, let's just keep going. Nobody took advantage of you. On the contrary, if you didn't have a price tag on your ass, they wouldn't be buying you. But since you're for sale, they have bought you. That is what happens to a prostitute. And then when they buy you, they use you and they drain you. And then when you recover, they come back and they drain you again because they bought it. And when you bought something, you own it. But because we're for sale to everybody out there, everybody owns a chunk of America. So our allies, Mr. President, didn't take advantage of us. This country's corruption, greed, self-grandiose view of you individuals. You took advantage of yourselves. You allowed yourselves to be taken advantage of because we are weak and we are sinful and we have absolutely no moral compass as a country in this moment. Say the truth. Say it like it is. Say it like it is, buddy. But you won't do it. But you won't do it because you love that they let you into their club. You love that you get to be in there now, right? You get to screw over the very people that put you there.
You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money?
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have, China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Are they fancy?
You would have the historical.
Who cares?
Yeah, but you would have, as you know, historically black colleges and
Historically
universities
black colleges
would all be out of business. You would have a system of colleges and universities.
So we're dependent on China to keep our university system going?
But I think it's good to have. I actually think it's good to have out.
All right, so Laura Ingram's the GOAT. I don't even know her, y'all. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch CNN. Like, I'll get clips and stuff here and there, and I love watching, like, sometimes, like, the Scott Jennings panels, although he's obviously now just a mouthpiece for the White House. But I don't watch their episodes. It's been a long time. I don't think most people under 40 are watching any of these talking heads. But their incompetence gives room for people like me and people like, Tucker Carlson's one of them, technically, even though he's phenomenal. But either way, so Laura Ingraham is the GOAT this week. She was not having it. If our university system cannot survive without foreign students, we need to reevaluate the system. Okay. This is a system that is so predatory against American students. I don't know if foreign students are paying, obviously they're going to pay more than in-state tuition. Although private universities don't care. They're paying, into our system for taxes, immigration. It's just a money grub all around. I can see it. Okay. So wealthy kids from China get to come to the US. They get to go to our universities. That's fine. That's great. Right. However, if our education system, our college net, which we have so many colleges, universities, community colleges, we have so many for-profit learning institutions in this country. Maybe we don't need to have so many. Okay. And for this president to say that the historically black colleges and universities would all go out of business if not for Chinese students. Come on, man. Like, Harvard might go out of business. Stanford, Princeton, Yale, schools that have a massive Asian population in comparison to the actual Asian population of the United States. HBCUs, majority population, I'm going to say 95% are Black American. A lot of legacy. You look at Spelman, you look at FAMU in Florida, a lot of legacies. Americans, you even have people from other countries, black countries, that come to those universities. They're not at risk of shutting down. I'm gonna promise you that. They're probably solid. your Harvards, your universities that are looking like they have more loyalty to foreign nations and political groups and ideologies than the actual students that are attending, indoctrinating students, indoctrinating everybody. It's a very interesting, it's a very interesting one, Trump. Like, I just wish you would stop acting like we were so stupid. Like, we're not that stupid. Just tell us. I like their money. The universities out here are begging me to let them in. Big tech is begging me to let in these students so that we can get ahead of China in the technology race, because we cannot do business in China as tech companies because they steal all of our information. So instead, let's get their citizens over here. 600,000, 350,000 are currently in the US. The America First president would see that number almost triple while doing nothing about affordability for university for Americans, while doing nothing about predatory loans for Americans living their whole life paying off their student loans. But hey, at least your student loans won't be a loan now. You can get a 50-year mortgage and you can pay that shit off until you die as well. There you go. Yay, bundles. That's a bundle. And then get a 15-year auto loan. You can bundle it up as well. Pay for everything 3, 4, 5 times. That's the American dream, y'all. Hoorah, go America. And then let's go into Friday. This week, part of the Epstein files were released. I'm not going to go into an Epstein file thing because, quite honestly, I think it takes a very long episode, and just going through everything that we've been told, everything that we've seen, everything we know so far, it would just be very long. I think other people are doing a much better job of it. And honestly, I just wanted to talk about my topics. So I am not going to do an hour on Epstein files. I will say this. Until we see people in power arrested and held accountable for the rapes and the pedophilia that apparently are rampant amongst our leadership, this is not a legitimate country. This is not a legitimate country. We are not a country. We are a country that harbors, protects, and enables the worst demons on the planet. And our president is one of them. And I'm not saying he's a pedophile, and I'm not saying that he had anything to do with anything, but I will say, Donald Trump, you are doing a lot for somebody who's not guilty. And you are doing a lot for somebody who claims to not know the other people on this list. Because I think you were shocked to find out how many of the people that gave you that $250 million in your last election, how many of those people are associated with or on that list, and you are protecting them. You, sir, are protecting pedophiles. Now, let's also mention that Epstein died while Trump was in office. Virginia Giuffre committed suicide when Trump was in office. Trump campaigned on releasing the Epstein files when he got in. Kash Patel, that clown. Dan Bong Gung 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 Gung, that clown. They campaigned on it. Pam Bondi campaigned on it. So why is it that we're not allowed to be upset about this? And why would you be calling your loyalist to DC to convince them to not vote, to release the files? Now, I want to call out that any Republican not on this list is a pedophile enabler. Any Republican not on this list does not want accountability. They want power. Because if you wanted accountability, you wouldn't give a crap who got voted out or who got arrested. You would have faith that the voters of this country would find their next candidate, and we would move forward as we've done any time we've lost somebody in a role. But to continue to protect these demons is something I don't think this country's ever going to recover from. So let me go ahead and highlight 4 people in the party that I am unfortunately currently registered to. After Mike Johnson, God knows, God, I feel like Mike Johnson's probably so wrapped up in some dirty, ugly shit, bro, because he looks like the most scared person in DC. So Mike Johnson, going up here, right? The 4 Republicans who joins the House vote. Obviously, nobody is surprised. Our boy Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie, the face of America First. The man who's been America First, even when he's getting threatened by his own party and the president that he has stood by. Unlike Lindsey Graham, right? The sad sack Lindsey Graham, Mr. Drunkenness, because is this man ever sober? So he's always defended him. But what he won't defend is he will not put aside his morals to be a fanboy. Do you know what it is to be a grown-up and to be a fanboy of another grown-up? It's weird. It's weird. As Candace would say, it's weird. It's just very weird. All right, go ahead, Thomas Massie. Thank you, Kentucky. Lauren Boebert. This is a fun one because Trump actually called Lauren Boebert to the White House to ask her not to sign. And she already said, unfortunately, I cannot stand by that. I have to sign for this. Her voters are mad. Wow, can you imagine a representative who cares what their voters want? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what a world it would be if our representatives cared about this country and the people that are voting for them, that gave them their job? Thank you, Lauren. More Mrs. Boebert. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I am learning way too much about her, but I will give her some credit right here. Coño, Marjorie Taylor Greene is standing by it. Now, I'm not surprised with her. She got into politics really just because of Donald Trump. She left the private sector. She owned construction companies, and she immediately went into government. Okay, cool. I never liked her. I don't like a lot of the stuff that she said in the early years, but I understand now that she's coming from the private sector. She's not some polished, fake, mask-wearing politician, corporate America stooge. I get it. She's a female version of Donald Trump. But unlike Donald Trump, apparently this woman has an ounce of integrity. Could it be self-serving? Yeah, probably. But at this point, who's not? And if you're going to serve yourself and actually do some ounce of good, please do it. Because left and right aren't doing shit. So we'll talk about her a little bit more in the stream here. But go Marjorie Taylor Greene. And then the one that she surprises me, but she doesn't surprise me because Nancy Mace is a rape survivor. And she probably got more of a name for herself for screaming at the trans politician trying to use the women's bathroom. And I'm not going to engage in those conversations. I've gone to unisex bathrooms where you're coming out of the bathroom and there's 5 guys and there's 5 girls and we are all living our life as adults. Nobody's raping anybody. Okay. But I can also understand how in a locker room, I've been there in the gym and there's an obvious biological male who's naked and telling me that they'll be just like me one day. I didn't go screaming to the front desk. I didn't cause a scene. It was 2011, 2012. So it wasn't norm back then. And I remember being like, okay, just keeping it moving because I was like, to each their own. I don't really know any other way to do it, but she got famous because of that. And then also recently she had a meltdown at the airport. I'm really happy that these 4 people signed for it. I think it says a lot. I think if there are 4 people in the Republican Party right now that deserve to be in office, it's going to be these 4, just on this one item. This is kind of like abortion, right? This is where you have people that solely vote on abortion. Okay. I won't do that anymore. I won't do it anymore. I cannot deal with an issue that has been an emotional back and forth my entire life. But let me tell you something. I will definitely start voting for politicians who are supporting getting our country back to a moral place, to holding people accountable for their demonic activities. And I will definitely be voting for candidates who do not take money from foreign lobbies or corporations. I think it's done. I think the lobby industry is done. I think foreign interference is done. I think Israel first is done. I think it was done the minute they killed Charlie Kirk and their prime minister came out and talked about how they didn't kill him. We were literally not saying I did not for 1 second think Israel. I thought this is very suspect. Duh. Everything was suspect, from the FBI to the investigation, to the text messages, to the beautiful wrap up of a case within 48 hours, as if that had ever happened in history. But never was I like, oh my God, this had to have been Israel. But Netanyahu, you in 1 week coming out and doing 3 speaking occasions on how he was the best friend to you all and how you guys didn't kill him. Even if you didn't kill him, it looks like you did. Doth thou protest too much? You did too much, my guy. You did too much. So that was the week, the advent calendar of FU America. My neck hurts. I feel like it's like all this stress of this just the life that is what we live in right now, right? Maybe the generation of the biggest change we've ever seen in our country, hopefully. But just like a little final little add-on here of again, Donald Trump treating everybody like they're stupid, because he really does think that we're stupid. I know that now. He thinks we're stupid. I kept saying it. No, I kept saying no. He doesn't think MAGA's dumb. I know so many MAGA people, good people, smart people that want the best for this country, that want the best for the people within the country, not a certain skin color. No, they want the best for this country, our borders, our country. So I could never accept when people say, oh, they're all stupid. No, and they're not. And that's honestly the best part of it, because Donald Trump thinks you're stupid. Donald Trump thinks that you are going to follow him like sheep off a cliff. And we're not talking about holy sheep, not the Lord's flock. No. This is the devil's flock. The one that'll have you going off a cliff straight into hell, the depths of hell. But we're not that stupid. We're not that stupid. One of the ways that I love Donald Trump treating us like we're this dumb is that after a week of just complete F you Americans, I hate you. I hate you. He went ahead and is telling Americans that he's going to give us $2,000 per American making under $75,000 individually, or $150 as a couple. Okay. Awesome. Right? Because we're making so much money off of our tariffs. Mind you, the business gets a tariff charge, right? Or a tax. Then the consumer gets to pay the increase in goods, because the businesses are never going to be expected or mandated by their government to cannibalize any of their revenue or profits. No, the consumer gets to take it, just take all of it dry. And then our lovely president says, I'm going to give you $2,000 per American, but only if you make a certain amount of money. Even though you're probably paying way more money than this in the increase in cost of living, the increase in everything. You have data centers being put down everywhere. You have electric energy companies telling consumers it's not a choice. You will be paying more money. Everything is going up because of your actions, because of you people. And then you want to give us pennies after you did this during COVID and we're still suffering for it. And then you sign in the big, beautiful bill, which puts your spending at the highest it's ever been. Republicans, do you know what your party is supposed to stand for? I'm just curious because I don't think you actually know what conservatism is. And then when nobody likes you right now and the entire youth that got you back in office has decided that we will not be voting at all because we hate you too, the feeling's mutual. So instead, you want to say to us, hey guys, you're so stupid. I'm going to give you more money to put you in a deeper hole because I don't give a crap. And again, you're stupid. So thank you. Thank you, Donald Trump. Now, on Saturday, to be the wrap up here, I'm going to go ahead and save. So for Saturday and Sunday in our Advent calendar, I'm trying to copy this link, and obviously I'm not doing a good job at it. So for the Saturday version of our Advent calendar, I am going to call out the official cancellation of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, Trump, you're I'm withdrawing my support and endorsement of the congresswoman because she's not really a congresswoman. I'm going to say the president because nothing you're doing is presidential or for the people. You are the head of an illegitimate government at this point. Cool. All Marjorie does is complain. Now, mind you y'all, Marjorie Taylor Greene literally has complained about them doing everything to not release the Epstein files. She's complained about the fact that all of the never Trumpers, all of the Zionists are now the voice of MAGA, the face of MAGA, and they've decided to be the gatekeepers of MAGA, telling people that you're not MAGA. You're like Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro. You can literally pull articles from them in 2014, 2015, 2016. I'll never support Donald Trump. Now, they each lick a butt cheek for breakfast and say, good morning, master. Marjorie Taylor Greene's the bad guy, though. Marjorie Taylor Greene got into politics because of Donald Trump. She's one of the loudest supporters. She's one of the biggest people getting his name out there, especially the old Republicans that didn't like how ugly and disrespectful he was every time he opens his disgusting mouth. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is a traitor. Do you know what makes me laugh? Is the comments. America is done. Young Americans, tech-savvy Americans, the Americans that are going to inherit this country, we are done. And what's crazy is that this ugliness is going to shape an entire generation's views on politics. Those are not going to be very open-minded views. They're going to be very, you're the enemy, you're the bad guy. Here's 100 years of evidence to the shit that you've done. You will never be in power again. And most likely, we are heading towards some sort of dictatorship because it's the only way that I could see you cleaning up the disaster and the rot that is this country. Is just taking everything, taking ownership of everything, and just nationalizing everything because what else is there to do? Everybody's corrupt. Everybody's serving themselves. I don't even know what else to say. It's that bad. So what I do like about it is this. Marjorie Taylor Greene is defending herself as she should. Donald Trump is a disloyal rat. He is a rat. Una rata. He did this with Tucker Carlson when he got off the plane and said Tucker should get a real network. Tucker Carlson, 2 weeks ago, was the highest viewed podcast in the world. The only person that's unseated him is Candace Owens, yet another person who's America first and has thrown Donald Trump and the MAGA followers that he still has to the side because you're not America first. If you are following an idol, if you are idolizing a man who is flawed, who is corrupt, who is at this point evil, where's your redemption arc coming from? This week alone, to me, killed MAGA. To me, MAGA is done. Anybody still hanging on, still wearing the hats? Man, it has to be, it's like Blockbuster video games. It must be like a nostalgia thing because MAGA's done. It's America first now. And the only way forward is America first. So She says that this is the text message. So look here. Look, she goes, and of course he's coming after me to scare all the others, right? So then he goes, check the flight logs of Epstein's plane. I gotta go to this. I gotta go to the post. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. And then you have other people here saying you've been acting like a traitor for months, all this stuff, blah, 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 right? I haven't seen her actual post to this. So let me go here. No, I'm not going to get it. All right. So whatever. Let me go here. Go to Marjorie. So she goes here. Today and every day. Okay, that's 2022. And have voted. I'm allowed to disagree with him. Duh. Bringing the Al-Qaeda Syrian president. That was the last one. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot. That was the final one. There has to be something there just has to be something so rotten. Like I know that this will pass. But I'm so disgusted. I'm so disgusted. I'm so disgusted. I'm disgusted with the president. I mean, I'm disgusted with his entire everything that he bred out of his body. I never want to see that name again. I never thought I would see a family that I just want to see them put on a boat and shipped off to sea. Put the Kardashians on the boat with them, please. Oh my God, that would be beautiful. And then elevate the Waynes family to the level of the Kardashians so we could all laugh again and get like a good kick out of things. But Marjorie Taylor Greene being kicked out of MAGA is hilarious. I feel like she's removed herself from MAGA a while ago because this man is just not working for this country. Yeah. And she's talking about going on CNN. She went on The View. I'll be honest with you. I kind of hope my channel takes off and I get to go on The View because I am going to eviscerate Sunny Hostin. But she's talking about, she's defended him. She's defended him. She's defended him. And then he's saying, now he's saying, right? Okay. So either way, yeah, again, the way I see it with Trump is that Donald Trump has zero loyalty. I don't think that he is doing anything that he's doing for Israel, Netanyahu, the Zionist movement. I don't think any of that is being done in the name of, oh, I love this country. These are God's chosen people. If you read the New Testament, no, you are not. You are not. Christians are God's chosen people. You cannot be God's chosen people if you don't follow Christ. So you want to keep spreading that lie. It is heretical. And every single Christian American that I see spreading that lie, I'm going to start calling them a heretic. And they need to be ashamed of themselves. How dare you let anybody convince you that you are not God's child, that you are not the people, the followers of Christ? How dare you? That's so sad. The self-hatred that you see in some of these Christians, lukewarm, Laodicean Christians. Donald Trump is not a Christian. He never was. Never was. Nothing about this man is Christian. I said that before I even started reading the Bible. But what's happening with Marjorie Taylor Greene, what happened with Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan has already flipped, right? Thomas Massie has already been the enemy to Republicans because he will not get in line with them. He's an actual conservative. So because of this, because of these views, now he's splitting from everybody. Okay, so she's done. Actually, I want to see what Donald Trump Jr. had to say today because I can't stand this kid, his stupid face. He goes, hold on, ready, guys? Look at this, because this is the never-ending hypocrisy with them, right? What the hell is going on in this world? Europe is at, well, it was only a short rape, so we won't get rid of a total piece of shit in our country. What the fuck? Wake up, people. We are virtue signaling ourselves into extinction, okay? This is Donald Trump Jr. being more worried about what's going on in Europe than being worried about what's going on in his own country. The fact that we are a country full of leaders who are pedophiles, child rapists, that his father has been accused by dozens of women of sexual impropriety, and the good old boys club are over here saying, oh, if she gives it up, take it. If she gives it up, take it. If she says no, it could mean maybe. But wait, if a Muslim does it, if an illegal immigrant does it, then it's bad, right? Then it's bad. But when elites rape, kidnap, steal children, it's something that we protect. It's something that we campaign on to then grift and gaslight afterwards so that we can defend them, right? When brown little kids go missing, 30,000 immigrant children that Trump uses as a talking point, but has not provided any evidence that they have found these kids at all. We're posting about a woman in Europe. Shame on whoever raped her. It is disgusting. It is never okay to take that right from a woman, from anybody, from any human being. Men get raped too. But what I think will be really funny here is that the internet, we're not having it, guys. We're just not having it anymore. So, all right. Trump also went ahead and did a little bit extra there, and which is again funny because I think our president's a clown. And Thomas Massie, I have nothing that I can criticize him on as of right now. And I really have a lot of respect for him because I think that this is somebody who has been America first through Trump's first term when almost nobody was. Marjorie Taylor Greene was just pissing everybody off at the time, running her mouth. Now, the Massie was married to his wife. They were together since they were like 14 years old, and she died like 16, 18 months ago. He remarried, and it's really sad that Trump, who's been married 3 times, has cheated on every single one of his wives, that Donald Trump thinks for 1 second that he's a moral authority. Even more laughable is anybody who's ever followed him that thinks that Donald Trump is a moral authority or a decent human being when all evidence has pointed to him not being. The things that come out of his mouth prove that he's not. But we believed that he cared enough about this family surviving so that his family's legacy could survive. But honestly, I think they're just going to move all of the Trump businesses to Israel, and then they can just be over there like the Sackler family, right? Destroy our country and then just go run over there. So Trump comes out and makes a joke about Thomas Massie getting remarried and talking about how Thomas Massie is a traitor and that his new wife has married a loser. I think personally Thomas Massie's swaggy. I think that little Kentucky Southern accent, I'm sure his new wife is more than charmed with him. He is a man of integrity and good character, something that Donald Trump wouldn't know if it bit him in the ass and announced itself. I think it is a level of cruel that we have gotten to, and anybody celebrating this kind of commentary is a disgusting human being. That's it. My heart breaks for this country. That's how I end the week. My heart breaks for this country. My heart breaks for the people, for the first generation, second generation immigrants who still have family members alive that can remember why they left their homes to come here to build a life. It bleeds because we deserve so much better than what this shit sack dumpster fire of a government has given us. from our intelligence agencies that are so rotten and corrupt that I don't even know if I could say that cartels are bad people anymore, or guerrillas, because I think that we're the same exact thing. So our intelligence agencies are funding and enabling and partaking in some crazy shit in this country. See the pipe bomb video for the FBI at January 6 rioters? They have an actual employed Fed dropping off pipe bombs. What? I think the only way to kind of wrap up is to really talk about the fact that we are at a critical point in this country. Faith in our institutions is at an all-time low, and it only gets worse. Every single week, it gets worse. This week was such a rapid ramp up in negative sentiment that from Monday to this afternoon, I guarantee you there are people discovering how much they regret their vote. And it's just going to keep going. It's just going to keep going. Oh, and then people will be like, oh, Kamala was going to be worse. They are all trash. Stop arguing about which trash is trashier than the other trash. Okay? How about argue about how we can get rid of the trash and get some decent people in government so that this country can serve the citizens again? Maybe have that conversation. Stop shutting everybody down by saying, but the other side, because I have no rational argument besides pointing fingers at the other side instead of pointing fingers at the side that I co-signed for that is not doing what they're supposed to be doing and admitting that I was wrong. And get the most radical idea ever, y'all. When presented with new facts, change your mind. It is okay. It is okay. But we've lost faith in every institution in this country. If you see now, you're seeing a high level of conversions to Christianity. You are seeing people turn to God at a record high number, not just because we saw Charlie Kirk get assassinated and then get gaslit and lied to by the people that we count on to hold others accountable. No. It's not just because of that. It's because there is absolutely nothing that seems untainted. Nothing that seems untainted. But let's celebrate the fact that there are actual angels out there in the world at a time where you have devils, the devil's in charge. But God is still here. And there is not a world in which God will not be the winner at the end of the day. There are angels right now. And I want to call them out because I think it's important. There are angels that are committed to the truth. There are angels that are out here. And we need to pray and we need to hope that God protects them, continues to protect them, because we cannot have another murder like Charlie Kirk. We cannot have another one of those. That is not okay. We need our people. We need our people that are going to lead the younger generations into the future of this country so that we can make this the country that we were told it was when we were growing up. And yet everything has told us in witnessing that that is not the case. So I want to declare, I know I have 63 subscribers, but if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and like and subscribe. I only have 63 subscribers as of right now. I'm sure that will change. I have faith that that will change. But real talk, Lion, your host Cece, we stand with Tucker and Candace. I stand with Tucker Carlson and I stand with Candace Owens. I stand also with any other journalist, Ian Carroll, Adam Smith. I started watching the Valhalla guy. There's a gentleman, Don, I think. Oh, I'm really bad at this. That he showed all of the pinging and the Google searches. There are a lot of people out there. And I actually thank you for not bowing down to these demons. Thank you for using your platform to try to do good, no matter how many angles they come at you on. Thank you. And Candace specifically, thank you for showing us what a sniveling weasel Ben Shapiro is. Because honestly, he's insufferable. And I'm sorry to all Capricorns out there. I'm one of you. we don't accept him. We don't know him. So we know already that our government has kind of made a sport out of lying to us, and yet we do continue to buy their bullshit hook, line, and sinker every chance we get. I always say that we like to be lied to. It's like being in a shitty relationship. You want to be lied to because it just makes you feel better at the end of the day, even though at your core you know that these are horrible human beings. So that's what it is. We're just any toxic relationship, anything to give our anxiety a temporary reprieve. But when you have half of a brain, which most of us have a full brain, contrary to what our government thinks, you should recognize that your brain is trying to protect you. I think the Charlie Kirk murder or assassination was a good example of that, where you saw so many people just immediately buy the obviously flawed narrative, hook, line, and sinker. And it's mainly because people's brains just want to move on. And that is okay. However, for the people who don't buy it hook, line, and sinker, don't shame them because you fall in line. Don't shame people. Don't try to make people feel bad because you like your government lying to you and you like accepting it. There is not one part of that Tyler Robinson story that you could actually tell me makes sense. I'm sorry. Like it's just no. Like F out of here. Like just no. Get out of here. Candace Owens right now is doing what all of our intelligence agencies, our police, the huevon Governor Cox in Utah, Cash Patel, my dude, just like blink 3 times if they've got you hostage in there. Like, dude, you have been the most lackluster head of FBI that I've ever heard. And we literally had deep state running the FBI for the last 10 years. So okay. But Candace actually goes out of her way to try to figure out who killed her friend, because that's what friends actually do. So
be Wednesday. I don't know what these people thought. I don't know what they thought. I think they thought Charlie Kirk would get assassinated. They would very manufacture.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Actually, Tim, they felt that he was now malfunctioning.
So
he was malfunctioning. Is watching them lose. The people who tried with all of the money. I don't care about anything right now. Anyways, point being is we were telling the truth. And we have been facing so much peer pressure, so much nastiness for just trying to get out the true narrative.
So the reality is that Candace Owens has been on this. She's been on this since the murder. She's been on this since day one. This has not been, she's, I'm trying to make all this money off of him. I think if she was to eviscerate Trump right now on all the things that he should be getting ripped apart for, I think that she'd be doing better almost, but she's almost hurting her own brand to be able to defend. And what's crazy is her unveiling this wild network of Christian Zionists in connection with Zionism, in connection with Turning Point USA Faith, Rob McCoy protecting pedophiles. You have so much going on, and all it's showing is that we are rotten from the core. And Donald Trump, or let's be fair, these political commentators that they believed in him, they bought his BS, right? All of these people are really upset now that this is not the president that they voted for. This is not the administration that they voted for. But I think the craziest part is that you literally murdered somebody that was just trying to have conversations. You murdered him because he was veering from an agenda that apparently your masters didn't allow. And worse than all of that is that your organization, the organization that you founded, they are not fighting for you. They're not fighting for you. And Charlie Kirk deserved better than that. So she's right. She's right. She's on point. We stand with Candace. She's a damn badass. Play this part.
Instinct. You recognize something is wrong. That's why you're watching this show. You are recognizing that the people around Charlie are not acting in the way that they should be acting, that their emotionality is not meeting the moment of violence that we all witnessed. Instead, they're turning on me. They're making videos about me for investigating. They're lying to you about where Charlie was on his faith journey. That's hush hush. The Catholic thing must stay hush hush. Why? It's all kind of adding up, right? They're attacking Tucker Carlson because he's attacking Christian Zionism. They're angry at Charlie because it's looking like he might get off the Christian Zionist reservation, because that's what it is. Okay, that's a plantation. And what they are mining is your emotion. What they are mining is your belief in God. And there's no question in my mind. It is corrupt, but it is also dangerous. It is dangerous.
I believe in God. I believe in God. Not one of these people that she is talking about are a representation of the God in Christianity. Not one of them. Not one of them. Devils, demons, devils and demons. And in the name of Jesus Christ, I rebuke you. You have no place. You have no place. If you're watching this show right now and you're demonic, I rebuke you as well. There is no place. That is it. Your time is up. Your time is up. We are done. We are done with the evilness. We are done enabling it. We are done turning a blind eye. We are done. We are going to call it out at every single step, every single stage. Freedom of speech is a God-given right. No human being will take it. May God bless everybody who is pushing against this narrative and this demonic energy that so many generations have allowed to continue. Now, why wouldn't our intelligence agencies want to investigate? You know, you talk about it. Why wouldn't they want to investigate people? That's so weird. Like, why wouldn't you want to investigate? Why wouldn't they want to investigate? Why would Kash Patel call journalists anarchists, independent journalists? Kash Patel had his own podcast where he literally talked about conspiracy theories all day. But now he's telling people that talk about conspiracy theories that they are anarchists. So the head of the FBI is an anarchist. Now, the funny part in all of this is that while you see Candace Owens, who last week declared the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you, by the way, Mr. and Mr. Macron, because you suing her apparently made Asia absorb her podcast. So now she's global. Now she's Mrs. Worldwide. We thank you so much, because you didn't need to sue a journalist in a foreign country whose constitution she's following. You obviously don't know America, but whatever. The best thing about this now is that you had Tucker Carlson was #1. Then you had now Candace Owens is #1, and everybody else is kind of falling down. But now the demons seem to be just getting louder. And what was really sad are the demons that unveiled themselves that I never would have considered to be that. I would have thought that they were decent people. And I am talking about specifically Officer Tatum. I used to really like him on doing like the campus tours and stuff like that. But lately, you know, he has been on this. Hold on, we can play it really fast because this man.
Erica Kirk said that she believed they have a great team in Kash Patel and the FBI. She believed that Tyler Robinson killed her husband. And at his memorial service, she said she forgive him.
I also want to call out that he is doing a Nazi salute as per most liberals' definition of a Nazi salute. Sorry.
Can you shut the front door about all these conspiracies around Charlie Kirk's death? She said it out of her own mouth. If you don't know anything about investigations, the FBI will.
Fathers matter, but you're covering up or regurgitating the talking points from the same people that probably killed Charlie Kirk, who's left behind 2 children who need him. Okay, fathers matter. He was your friend, by the way. But what I do like is
Erica Kirk said,
it's obviously people's reaction, right? Because this man went to that We Hate Tucker Carlson fest 2 weeks ago. I let him know, obviously, what I think. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter or X or whatever, go on there. I've started being on there. I know I'm a late millennial, so whatever, but I'm there. And obviously nobody listens to him because, see, we used to like him and we used to follow him because he talked about freedom of speech. And then
if
now
you claim
he talks
you
about
love
how
Charlie, you would not hurt the people he.
now he talks about how people should not be questioning a narrative and need to shut the front door, and they need to go back to being good little house slaves and shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Don't question anything. Shut up. I wish I could do the Tucker Carlson. Shut up. No, you shut up. And of course, everybody's kind of like, right? Look at here. Look at Lindsey Graham. This is my favorite because this is where I really have to give MAGA credit. We are never going to forget. We are never going to forget that you have now bent the knee to this drunk Southern lady. It's embarrassing. Okay. So, Officer Tatum, very loud, lost all credibility. So these are the people that Candace Owens are being compared against, right? So we can go here to Officer Tatum with his little Nazi chop that he's doing there. I feel like God is doing something huge in the American church right now. This division that you see isn't a bad thing. It's dividing those who want to continue to move towards religion and away from God, and from those who are headed back to the foundation of what Jesus stood for. Okay? Mind you, this man is a shill for Israel, a country that does not believe Jesus Christ is a Lord and Savior at all. At all. Okay? So just on that alone, he has no idea what he's talking about. Okay? But the internet is going to correct you every single time, because something about that New Testament is it is plainly, clearly written. I am going to do an entire special deep dive on how heretical the current Christian church in this country is and how much we have been lied to by Zionists and kowtowed into pretty much doing their bidding and letting our kids die for their fucking colonial wars, genocidal ambitions. And it's all there. So someone like Mr. Apex Shakur over here, yeah, shame on you, because you could literally open it, coño, and read it. So because all of this is there, right? So more Judeo-Christian bullshit, babble, bullshit. Literally got spit on when he was in Israel. He keeps getting made fun of for this because it is funny that he was like, when I was in Israel, I only got spit on like one time for being Christian. Like, it's not a problem. It's literally not an issue that this country spits on Christians. The same religion that has been somehow manipulated into fighting their wars and sacrificing our children. Just think about that. Spitting on us. Okay. All right, cool. So, guy's a clown. Then let's go over here to another one who baby boomers love buying his books and reading about how great the world is going to be when we allow Israel to kill everybody that they feel like killing. That's pretty much how it goes, right? So there can never be two states, right? America First has always been about defending allies. I mean, this is so bad, y'all. This is so bad. It's really bad because Mark Levin should literally just go live in Israel. Just go live in Israel. Like you love it so much. And it's crazy because I'm not like the crazy one here. Okay. I'm not the crazy one here. Like I am very proud to say that I'm not the only one who thinks that some of these idiots should just go live in this foreign country. Now, one of my surprisingly favorite podcasters, YouTubers, is somebody named Brett Cooper. She's really young, like 23, 24. And she is, I feel like, most known amongst my age group for being like the female looking version of Ben Shapiro. Because she does.
This summer, like I genuinely.
Ben Shapiro wishes he was this fabulous, but let's be honest. Okay. She does look like a female version of Ben Shapiro. But I really like Brett Cooper. What I didn't like about Brett Cooper was that she kind of plays it safe, right? She doesn't want to ruffle feathers. But see, I think she's the same exact age as Nick Fuentes, where Nick Fuentes seemed to be like Bane, like he was forged in the adversity or everybody just fighting against him all the time, where Brett Cooper probably just kind of like came up, you know, not to say it, but like white Christian girl, just doesn't really feel like anyone's ever been attacking me. I'm probably super, you know, had a really crazy life, but she has a calm about her and she seems to not want drama, but she just had her first kid. And I don't know any of you ladies out there that understand the mom energy that you come into when you've had your first child, but it is something revolutionary. You don't see the world the same way anymore. You feel like every single issue is one that's for you and your kids. And something else is that we just get tired of bullshit. And it's almost like we're getting ready to discipline our kids. So our bullshit detector goes off. And what I really, really like about postpartum Brett Cooper is that her bullshit meter is at probably the all-time high. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip of her. Where is it at? Hold on. I'm getting better, I promise. All right. So she's starting to call it out, which I think was really, really necessary. So she's pretty much saying, you know, this cancel culture crap that the right is doing, the Zio right, because it's not the woke right, which is just stupid, Netanyahu, although it's a funny play on words. No, we just don't like you. We have no issue with the religion. We don't like you. We don't like demons. We don't like the devil. That's it. I'm so sorry that bothers you. We like Jesus. We like God. We like good. We like moral behavior. But y'all pissed off Brett Cooper. You really got Brett Cooper to have to come out and stop being, you know, just a non-problematic young person. She's in her mama energy. Listen to this.
Response.
Now, as for my decision to platform Tucker, too bad, too fucking bad. I love him. We're friends. I don't think he's an anti-Semite at all, but I don't really care. I think Tucker's a very important, valuable voice in the national conversation. I'm thrilled.
Candace, I think Candace is
so I don't know her. I don't really know her that well. Although I will tell you, we recently had a very nice exchange before all this. And I was just reminded in my own head that Candace is a young mom of like 3 young kids. She's under a lot of pressure. She's got a big show. She's been under attack since she came onto the public airwaves, and she's been under attack constantly. And it's my prerogative if I say to myself, that is not someone I wish to attack. I do not feel that way. I don't want to do it. Yeah. And I felt this way. And now that people have made my attacking her the stakes of my relationship with whatever person is saying this, I'm going to have to say goodbye to that person. I won't do it. Now it's like a point of pride. Yeah. It's literally the same thing as the BLM folks trying to make you raise your fist. The answer is no.
I mean, that is a perfect analogy in my.
No. Do you know, fun story that I'll probably tell in a couple of years, that I've definitely been a part of that, where I refuse to jump on any of these social sentiment moments. And because I speak out against it, I actually make a bunch of enemies. So let me tell you something. I didn't agree with Black Lives Matter when it originated. I didn't agree with it on the premise that it started. I didn't agree with the money grubbing and stealing from their own community and absolutely doing nothing to improve the living conditions or the life of young Black kids in America, or addressing the mass murders of Black on Black. I couldn't. And then worse than that is when we were rioting for an entire, months of rioting, we were destroying the inner city. I mean, at least the January 6th idiots went to the government that they were mad at and destroyed their building. No, you instead, you got mad at white people, the police. I never really know. And you went and destroyed your own cities, or Antifa came in and destroyed your cities. And yet people look down on you. It made it worse. And your founder stole all the money. So yeah, Megyn Kelly's right on this one, right? And I'm not really a big fan of Megyn Kelly right now, but that's like for another, probably next week, because I feel like I've been on for way too long at this point, and I need to wrap up. But she just, to me, Brett Cooper killed it on this. And then she talks about, let me go over here to my next one. And because, one of the beautiful things about the internet, the fact that Charlie Kirk was so well known and so documented, every single thing that these Charlie Kirk friends, Mark Levine, these like Josh Hammer, God, if I have to see or hear that man's voice. Every single time that they say something that we can easily prove or disprove with a Charlie clip, it has become now a running joke. Hasbro does not work in America. Hasbro doesn't work in Americans. The first time it was used on me, I actually got on a call with another American to call out the fact that I just felt like I had been propagandized in a rapey kind of way because it was so dirty how it was done. So Hasbro doesn't work on us, buddies. We got documentation. We are a country as citizens that do not like or trust authority. We are rebellious. You are raising all of our flags with your shady behavior. But instead of changing your tactics, you're doubling down. So Charlie wasn't friends with Candace. Charlie didn't like Candace.
Look, I have different views on things as Candace. I have different views on Israel than Candace. I have different views on a lot of geopolitics. But honestly, I traveled the country with Candace. I went to her wedding. I saw her meet her husband. I went to Israel with Candace, which is a fun story I'll tell you at some point. But what I don't like is when people demand, you must stop being friends with somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a left-wing tactic. Don't do that. I'm not saying you do that, but other people do that. We should never resort to that.
I mean, this is the kind of unity that Matt is talking about, that he is being attacked for relentlessly. And this kind of sentiment is why Charlie was so beloved. It's something that people have been talking about at length after his assassination. The fact that he truly was friends with everyone, that he wouldn't badmouth you behind closed doors, that he would try to see the good in everyone. He would try to understand you regardless if you disagreed. He saw the value in working with people who might disagree with him, who were on the right and shared many of his.
Telling you, y'all, mom energy is energy that you will not understand until you get it. Mom energy is what has me sitting here in a guest bedroom ranting about the state of the world, hoping that people will follow, tune in, and start adjusting how they're thinking about fellow citizens. And hopefully we can unite so that our children can have a better world to live in. Because if I'm 80 and this shit is still happening, I'm going to really feel some type of way about it. This shit cannot continue. We need to save this country. We need to save this country for our children, for ourselves. Shit, for the dog that you leave behind when you die. I don't care what your driving factor is, but we need to save it. And if we keep going this way and we keep trusting these scumbags, we're never going to get there. They're going to sell us for parts like the prostitutes that they are. So thank you. When I see young people, Candace Owens is my age. Tucker Carlson is the generation above mine. We're there. We're aware of it. We need their voices. We need their voices to be louder and louder because they will be the ones, whether they like it or not, they will be the ones fighting for us to get our country back. But what I really love is the fact that unlike you, Megyn Kelly, who seems to be trying to play both sides at all times, instead of just putting your both feet on the ground, putting on your big girl pants, and letting them know that you don't align with them anymore. But instead of doing that, you keep backtracking. You did that tricky shit with Don Jr., where you had him on stage and you told everyone that you believe the FBI, but then you questioned Don Jr. And we know what you're doing. You're doing what Charlie was doing in the beginning, which was getting people called out without him actively doing it. It's just passive aggressive. It looks ugly on you because you know what happened. You have been very outspoken about that until you started getting called an anti-Semite. And apparently, instead of doubling down and being an adult, you bit your child and you went and backtracked. So this actual child, or young woman, young mother, but very young woman, has bigger balls than you, than Donald Trump, than Netanyahu. I'm just saying. What's the timestamp? Okay, I'm getting there.
I have worked with some of these parties very intimately. So no, I will not stop being friends with Candace Owens, who has become like a big sister to me because the internet demands it. I will not attack Matt just because I no longer work with him or because the internet has decided to pile on to him for the 27th millionth time. I also will not pile on to attacks on Ben Shapiro's character because he was nothing but kind and supportive of me during my time at Daily Wire. And that is a fact. I just won't do it. And if you have a problem with any of that,
I won't do it. I won't do it. Do you know how weird it is to see people cancel family and friends because their political views don't align? Do you know how weird it is? It is weird. My husband and I do not align fully on our political views. You think I'm going to divorce him? He's a great man. He's a great father. He's an amazing husband to me. My best friends. We don't have to align on that kind of shit because a lot of those views come with your upbringing, your life experiences, your social economic status, your ethnicity, maybe immigrants. There's so many different things that come into play on political views and opinions that my friend that I met working at a restaurant who's extremely liberal, she could not for 1 second hope to convince me to become a liberal. I will never be a liberal. Technically, I'm probably a classic liberal, like most classic conservatives. They're almost the same thing. But in America, we've bastardized and redefined everything to fit a narrative or to demonize other people. Kind of like we've done with anti-Semitic, because it definitely has a definition and it's not the way that we've been using it. Because anti-Semitism would include killing Semitic people, which the Palestinians are Semitic people. So the Israelis are anti-Semitic by definition. So Brett Cooper has cojones, a lot of cojones. And she also seems, how do I say this? Okay. If you are truly America first, you have to be anti-Zionist. Because the Zionist movement, if you haven't read A Clean Break Doctrine, you need to go read A Clean Break Doctrine. The Zionist movement is tied in fully with the United States military-industrial complex. You cannot have one without the other. So if you believe in America first, if you believe in putting this country's needs and benefits over everything else, you cannot be a Zionist. You cannot be a part of the military-industrial complex. I mean, I know this is going to break the brains of a couple of conservatives out there, Republicans, because you're not conservative. If you support this man, you're not conservative. You are a Republican. If you cannot wrap your brain around that, then I'm sorry. Then you can just live in Delulu land and just keep telling yourself that you're right and that that is the evil left, that the left is the worst thing that ever happened, ever. Everything bad that ever happens, every earthquake, every fire, every volcano eruption, every dead baby is because of liberals. Okay, cool. So Brett Cooper has reached a conclusion that most Americans have reached or are mid-process in reaching. You cannot be America first if you are a Zionist, because you cannot have dual loyalty. You cannot have dual loyalty in this country. You cannot. Zionism is wholly un-American because it will have us sacrificing our children, our sovereignty to fight their wars so they can continue to expand in the Middle East. And honestly, it makes sense that Israel wants more land. It also makes sense that Israel wants more of a world power status. We get it. I've heard Netanyahu speak. You think you're better than everybody, Netanyahu. We get it, okay? But no. How about just no? No. We're done. From 1948 to now, how many wars have we been involved in? How many American bodies have died? Please, not one more. Not one more. So I will say that we stand with Brett here, and I know I ranted a bit there. And I think that's where I'm at. Okay. Bam. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong one. All right. My apologies, y'all. If anybody's watching. All right. All right. Perfect. So get my timestamp. All right. It's funny. And like, I know I feel like she broke the internet in her own way because this is so damn funny. Porque estar soltera está de moda, por eso.
If you're a gym girl like me and you hate taking your jewelry off to go work out, you need to check out this brand called Baby Gold. It's for
So the Republican Jewish Coalition Conference.
All right. So this is a really quick one. If y'all didn't see this, Tucker Carlson did an interview with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is the little whiny kid that like hides in his basement, but like he's getting really, really popular. And I personally, I don't know, his last name is Latino. I know he's Latino, but he says he's a white supremacist. So I should probably look more into it. Any grapers catch this, link me to any explanation where he explains how he is Latino, but a white supremacist. I know that Latinos can be white, obviously. Just very interesting comment to make. Also anti-immigrant, but his parents or mother is an immigrant. So weird one, but he had this episode with Tucker Carlson where I thought it was a good episode. It was two different versions of the Republican Party meeting. Tucker Carlson kind of gently trying to like walk him off some of his ledges because Nick Fuentes just seems like I want to burn everything down. But obviously, the Zio Republicans had complete meltdowns, and they even showed up to like this weird thing where they had like signs saying Tucker Carlson is not MAGA. You got to be really corny to be waving that flag or that sign around while people that never supported Donald Trump are on stage speaking, and y'all are saying that you're going to decide who MAGA is. How's this? You can have MAGA. Nobody wants MAGA. MAGA is so tainted by the betrayal of this president that nobody wants it, okay? So you can keep it. You can keep grifting, and we're just going to go ahead and slide over to America First, where we've learned our lessons, and we've now rebranded ourselves, and hopefully we just do better. We just kind of like when somebody buys a crappy hotel and then they renovate it, and then we have like a 5-star hotel with a Michelin star restaurant. That's going to be America First. And MAGA is going to be the Red Roof Inn. Only crackheads and prostitutes are going to want to stay there, which is fitting considering our government is a bunch of prostitutes for sale. But I think Brett Cooper said this best here.
Surprised when it comes to these characters. Like Randy Fine, if you don't know who he is, he's a representative from Florida. He's the same guy who bragged about not washing his hands after he had a handshake with Netanyahu. He's repeatedly introduced bills to criminalize anti-Semitism, infringing upon free speech. I mean, he obviously, I'm sorry to say, but he obviously cares more about Israel than he does, principles like free speech. So, buddy, like my advice to you, Randy Fine, is just move to Israel at this point. Like, considering you had to go through anger management classes a few years ago, I genuinely think you would probably be happier if you just moved to Israel. And that's not a dig at him. That's just a fact. It's a nudge of encouragement. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be healthy. I think you would be happier if you just moved to Israel. You could be over there singing songs with Mike Huckabee.
Sweet home, Yerushalayim. Yeah! Where God's words ring so true.
That's Mike Huckabee's take on Sweet Home Alabama, but performed in Israel about Israel. Okay, sorry, I just had to include it because I thought that was just so incredibly funny. And again, the entire thing is funny. Like, I'm just looking at this conference, I'm looking at the state of conservatism. I'm like, this is not a serious movement right now. It is so full of division and finger pointing and anger.
Like, that's it, y'all. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. obviously the lies are unraveling, and I'm here for it. I'd rather be alive at a time of extreme change and sacrifice and challenge than be alive at a time where we just breathe, eat, use the restroom, and just repeat again. I don't know what the future brings, but I think we're going to be able to look back and say that the day that they killed Charlie Kirk is the day that the shit hit the fan and the day that this country woke up. We cannot have another generation of complacency and self-serving behavior. That's done. Millennials, please, please, can we be the generation that starts the actual change? We are now seeing the corruption. We no longer believe that, these people are working in anybody's best interests. They're all evil. They're just evil. I think it's unfortunate, but I am grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you so much for these people that are putting themselves on the line, that are actually risking their own freedom and financial liberty to do these investigations, to call out these powerful people. Thank you. And thank you to the few Republicans, the 4 of you that are trying to do the right thing, unlike those spineless sacks of shit that you call colleagues. We will have our country back. We will. I mean, that's it. It's the only recourse. So we will keep calling you out. We will keep using any means that we have to hold you accountable. And have faith in God that the day will come that all of you will answer for this. You will answer for the shit that you have done to destroy this country and opportunities for everybody so that you could give it to the few and the select. Shame on you. And to the rest of you, God bless you. Have an amazing weekend or amazing day. Great week ahead. If you didn't like, subscribe, comment, go for it. And thanks for watching. Stay bold.